I cut off all my hair. My hair. So you might be wondering what possessed me to do this. Did the corona finally drive me insane? Or just the state of the world in general? Was it just too hot? No, I was not too hot. I'm perpetually cold now, hence scarves. Lots of scarves. When people ask, I tell them that I just wanted a new look. That I just felt that it was time for a change. Or I just don't say anything at all. I just say, yeah, I cut my hair. Yeah. But the truth is that I just couldn't bear to have it on my head anymore. And if my brother had had clippers in his apartment instead of just kitchen scissors, I might have just shaved my whole head, is the reality. Because, see, this hair, it's my dad's hair. It's his Native American hair that I inherited. And honestly, I love my hair. It's one of my best qualities, I think, and the only thing that I've never ever hated about myself. But a few days ago, I ran across some court documents that recorded the abuse me and my brother went through as kids. Now I've known pretty much my whole life that bad things happened to me when I was a kid. And I've even read these documents before, not even that long ago. Nothing I was reading was a shock to me. It was. Mm. But since I was 9, I've never really been able to remember most of it. Even the things that I did remember were mostly just impressions and shadows and a few minor details. It was never really real. And I would even sometimes question if I ever was abused or if the things that were being told to me were really that bad or if people just exaggerated it, made it seem worse than it was. Just it never seemed real to me. And so I tried my best to just ignore it and be normal. To be as innocent and perfect as possible.
Oh my stars. Swearing? No, what? Never. I've never heard such words in my life. Such profanity.
And that's the way I live my life. But lately, a few of those memories have started coming back. Just little things like, oh, finally I understand my irrational hatred for Shakira. That makes sense finally. But yeah. And remembering even little things like this was sometimes painful and confusing, and I did get depressed for a while about it. But it didn't really prepare me for this. When I read those court documents for the second time, it all just came flooding back to me. It's like a light switch flipped, and I saw and relived all of those documented events from my own perspective. I finally remembered it. It wasn't just a story, it happened to me. And it happened again through my mind. And I relived it. And I just was not prepared for it. I was immediately suicidal and just feeling like I could not live with this. The pain of it was just too much. Just all the memories of it was just too much. And what I had apparently lived through was just too much to deal with. I couldn't process it, and I didn't want to. And even now, I packaged a lot of it away just so I can deal with it later in small pieces. I'm not even going to talk about most of it right now. I was just so angry. I wanted to break and throw things, but nothing in the apartment was mine, and I didn't want to break my brother's things or destroy his place. But I needed to let my anger out in some way, and a lot of things came to mind. I was angry at my dad for treating me in such a vile manner and not recognizing the damage he had caused so many years later. And sometimes even making me feel insane by making it seem that it was all just some lie that my mom made up to make me hate him. And I was angry at my mom for relying on me so much as a teenager and just solidifying all the lessons that I learned from my dad's emotional abuse. And it's like I just wasn't important enough to be taken care of. And that I was only of use when taking care of others. That I only mattered when I was doing what everybody else wanted me to. And I was angry at my grandma auntie and a lot of my family for doing nothing to stop any of this. Instead, just teaching me to not depend on anyone and to be self-sufficient and to take care of myself and everyone else when I was just 6 years old. And I got so depressed and angry that I wanted to scream. I wanted to drink. I wanted to cut myself or burn myself just to make it more manageable. Just to try and focus on one thing or not focus on any of it at all. But that was nearly impossible. I couldn't scream because I loved my brother more than life, and he was sleeping, and I didn't want to disturb him or stress him with a noise complaint. I couldn't drink because I know myself and my personality too well, and I know that if I had started drinking, I would definitely be an alcoholic. And I had already had a problem with self-harm, and so if I intended to make it through the night, I knew I couldn't slip back into that. Otherwise, I wouldn't make it at all. And so here I am, just sitting on the floor, ready to pull my hair out, already trying, like literally just like grabbing it and trying to pull it off my head. And I see some scissors not too far away. And I think about it for maybe 5 or 10 minutes, not very long. This hair that I've been growing for years at this point, that I've become so attached to that I feel like my one true beauty, but it's also my dad's hair. It's also the hair that I was growing out, at least in part, because of his Native American traditions. So, I cut it off. And here we are. A little while after, I was reminded of when my mother left, when I was just a kid right before they got divorced. Little kid me, though she was gone, remembered that every few months we went down to the hair salon to get it cut, to get it trimmed, so that it would stay beautiful and healthy. And I reminded my grandma auntie of this, and I made sure to make it known that we only ever took off an inch at a time during these little salon visits. I stressed this so much. I loved my hair, and it was something that me and my mom had worked on together. But Grandma Auntie decided that it needed to be short. And I came back from the salon with a haircut similar to this one here. Just a small little bob. And I was pissed about it for years. Until she explained this to me. At that point in my life, I had lost my mom, and I was feeling pretty abandoned and pretty lost, and generally just sad. Now, in my Paiute culture, when you're grieving, traditionally you cut off your hair. You grow it out as a kind of protection, like a web to catch all of your thoughts and protect your mind and your spirit. And it's used as a way to strengthen you. So when all those thoughts and burdens are just too much for you to bear, you cut it off. You let it go and you start fresh. And that's what she did for me that day when I was, I think, maybe 4 years old. And here we are now. And maybe this can be a new start. Maybe this can be a chance for me to mourn that little girl all those years ago for everything that she lost and everything that she had to go through and everything that she will never get to be. And anyway, I hope that you'll go through this journey with me, and until next time, have a good day, night, afternoon, whatever, and remember to be kind to people, because you don't know what kind of secrets they're hiding.
Carter's very concerned that I'm not myself. What even? No,